If you would like to be an influencer on YouTube or on TikTok, or possibly you just like to be a better actor on film or on television, we've got the guy today who can tell you exactly how to make that happen. Hi, I'm Randy Kirk. This is Small Business Daily, and we're joined today by Mark Stolzenberg, a gentleman who has made his entire life's career various aspects of performing. Hi, Mark.
How are you? Thank you for having me. Sure.
Could you just give us the brief synopsis of your career?
Oh, gee. I went to NYU graduate school when I was a kid, and my first job out of school was I was offered a contract as a clown with Ringling Brothers Circus. And I lived in the circus. I ran away from New York City, joined the circus. Then I ran away from the circus and I joined New York City, and I came back and I started doing plays and theater and Shakespeare and improv. I had my own circus act. I mean, I was just busy all the time working as an actor. And then I landed a lead role in a feature film. They saw 2,000 people for this part, and I got cast, and that was it. I was in love with the movies, and I said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, and it worked. I started landing commercials and movies and TV shows, and I've just been busy all the time working as an actor. And so I started teaching because it's connected. I also direct, write, and produce as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you started teaching was it at the New School?
Yeah, my first teaching job was at the New School, and I've been there for quite some time. And I became grandfathered in as a associate professor at the New School in the drama department. And I started my own school, the New York Acting School for Film and Television, and that's been very successful. We're an icon in the business at this point. Yeah.
Right. And your unique thing, because there's tons of acting schools in New York City and in Los Angeles, but your unique niche is that you are doing it for screen and television.
Absolutely.
And then today, that's expanded, because now today that same ability to act can make you into a YouTuber or into somebody who does TikTok or as an influencer on any kind of video media.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you folks out there, we had another video the other day. You can check the comments below, the description below, and you'll see that we've done another video just a few days ago about becoming a YouTuber. Now we're going to talk about some of the details about how you could improve yourself, improve everything about how you do acting on video. So, Mark, what would be the first step somebody would do if they wanted to become better at YouTube or just acting on video?
Well, okay. There are many things to do. The first and most obvious is to take some acting classes directly relevant to being on camera. On camera. It's called on-camera acting classes or acting for film. Any one of those where you get to experience being in front of the camera and working and seeing yourself. So just like anything else, training is important. You know, YouTube is considered a little bit like the wild, wild west of video, but you know, you can't just go on YouTube and mess around and expect to be perfect or even good. You need to know how to work in the medium and handle yourself. So there's nothing like being trained professionally. You wouldn't stand in Carnegie Hall to give a concert on the piano without taking some lessons first.
Yes. And then a lot of folks, of course, in high school or college, they may have been in a drama. I certainly did some drama in high school. It's a lot different doing it on stage than it is doing it on camera.
Oh yeah, let me speak about that a second. By the way, I do get a lot of kids, I mean teenagers and young adults who want to study with me. Can I say, well, you know, I have my own YouTube stuff I'm doing. And I realized I need to get some help because it's all messy. So I want to take some classes with you. I do get I get that a lot. So let me talk, you asked me about being on stage as opposed to being in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Or even there's a huge difference between being live one-on-one with somebody at a meeting, or especially from stage to camera. And for example, if I was on stage, if you're on stage, you have to project in a loud voice, and you want to make sure the audience hears you. You have to use broad gestures. It's called being theatrical. Hey, Joe, it's a beautiful day. Well, if you do that in front of the camera, I mean, excuse me, being politically incorrect, but you look retarded, and it does not work. So, hey, Joe, it's a beautiful day. So you have to learn how to, we call it in the industry, bring it down, bring it in for the camera and make it real. Take some practice and training to do that.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned, so we've been talking about how to do this on YouTube. So if you think this is good content, this is something that's useful for you and your business, would you please press the like button and then also subscribe? And then you could also push the notify button if you'd like to be notified of future product like this. So Mark, okay, so the first step would be signing up for a class. And learning how to be more effective.
And not a theater class, not musical theater, not acting for stage. Right. It's totally a different technique. And even on camera, when you're on camera, you know, I specialize in close-up work, which is what you and I are doing right now. Right. And I think what a lot of YouTubers do. So you want to make sure that you're doing close-up work. And that's part of my technique that I teach.
Good. All right. So then if you take the class, what would be like step 2? What would be some of the things that they would be taught?
Yeah, well, okay. So one of the most important things in front of the camera is to be real and believable. So you have to develop a quality of being approachable, honest, and sincere. And again, that's not, some people can do that somewhat naturally, but as soon as you get in front of the camera, the whole world changes, because the camera is rigorously invasive and it reads your mind. So if you just think a thought, it will show up on the movie screen. If you think a thought like, oh, well, I'm bullshitting this person or whatever, it's going to show up. So you have to make sure even that your thoughts are working for you for your final product. You know, I call it your subtext underneath your text. What are you thinking? So that's one of the things to work on. Okay. Another is, well, there's a lot of do's and don'ts in front of the camera. So one big don't is don't bounce your head while you're talking. This is called a bobblehead. Oh, I like your dress. Where'd you get it? Target. Nice. Bobblehead. Next. We don't want to see a bobblehead on the screen. It looks terrible. I mean, you can move your head a little bit, but you don't want a pattern, especially bouncing, which is a bad habit that a lot of people have. Other bad habits are eyebrow stuff. Hey, I like your dress. Oh, where'd you get that? Oh, good. Or mouth. A lot of people have tension in their jaw and mouth area. Hi, how you doing? I like your dress. That looks terrible on camera when you do things with your mouth. And also, you want to keep your chin down. When you bring your chin down, you're forcing the camera to come to your eyes, and your eyes are everything on a close-up. Everything goes from your eyes. So chin down. And the rule of thumb is relax your visage, relax the face, and shoot from your eyes. And that takes practice like anything else. It's not, I had to work on it for a very long time.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. So, and then so we got those two. What would be a third approach, a third thing that they would benefit from hearing about?
Okay. Well, another one would be developing a range of expression with your emotions, so that most of us, you know, if we're talking or interacting socially or in business, we can get loud, we get soft, we get serious, make a joke. Yeah, but we have a limited range of how we express ourselves. And one of the things I teach is to expand that bubble so that you can go from being really, really dark and heavy to extremely light and fun, to from joking to serious, from crying to laughing. I mean, there's so many places to go, and they're all tools that we have access to use when we communicate. So why limit yourself? You want to increase your repertoire of behaviors so that you're a better communicator.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Certainly, that's maybe the first thing we think of commonly when we think of acting is being better at expressing emotions, maybe emotions that we don't even use in life.
Yeah, and some people are very inhibited about certain emotions. I know in my classes when I teach, one of the things I do right away is get people to do angry, very angry. You'd be surprised how many people can't do it, because Mama has always told us, never talk to somebody like that. That's not polite. So I would say 50% of the people out there are inhibited with expressing anger, and they feel uncomfortable doing it. And you want to be able to use it as a tool. Sometimes you need to be firm or insistent or aggressive. And it helps you in your work. Yeah.
All right. And then you got another one for the folks that are listening.
Sure. Intimacy is extremely important. Well, look, shall I do another emotion first? I mean, there's also fear. How do you express fear?
Sure.
And then we also have sadness and awe, admiration. I mean, these are all qualities we could bring to our performance to expand what we call your range. Right. So all those are important. And, we can work externally to change our message. For instance, if I'm angry, I could go like this and it makes me look angrier. But you can also work internally using acting technique so that you can get angrier just by changing your inside story, which is something I can't go into a long descriptive thing about, but that would come with acting classes. You would learn to work inside, from the inside out, and also from the outside in, and learn how to combine them both to get the desired result. While we're on this, character is certainly another important element of it all. Who the hell are you? So, and not so much who you are, but how are people reading you on YouTube? So if you want to be a YouTube, I mean, you have to do some sort of analytics and say, what do people see when they're watching me? Are they seeing like a warm, friendly person? Maybe you want to be a warm, friendly person, but perhaps they're seeing like a very nervous, insecure person, or they're seeing a disgruntled, frustrated person, or a horny person, or a hungry person. You don't know what messages you're giving off unless you do some reality checks, and that's another thing we get from taking classes.
Sure. I think I love where you were going to go a minute ago on this intimacy thing.
Yeah.
My whole family has been involved in music. And a couple of my kids, got serious about it. And I kept telling them that the key, if you're going to be in a rock band or some kind of a band, or you're going to be singing to a group, is that the audience has to feel like every one of them is your best friend, or that you're in love with them. And I couldn't get this idea across. And I think it, again, probably takes a lot of practice, but talk about it in terms of video.
Of course.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, you want to connect to people, right? And in a moment, I will talk about being likable beyond connecting, having them really looking like that you're a lovable, likable person that I want to see more of. Show me more of that person. That's, but regarding intimacy, that's another thing about camera work is it requires a certain kind of intimacy, and it loves it. So if I could go, wow, honey, we should take a vacation together. Yeah, in real life, that's fine. I'm sitting around my kitchen talking to my wife. It's not very intimate on camera. I would do it, honey, we should take a vacation, don't you think? So you can hear it in the voice. You bring everything down, and you can even whisper and the camera picks it up. I do a lot of work with students, and it could work for a lot of, talking about expanding your range. Just thinking out loud on camera is very magical, and the camera loves it and blows it up and puts it up in the movie. Like, oh my God, look at me. What? I got another gray hair here. Oh, I got a wrinkle over. I don't want to get old. Oh God, please. Talking to myself. The camera loves that. I mean, so these are things you would never think of doing unless you have, practice and training doing it.
Sure.
But you also have to trust with intimacy. It requires a certain amount of practice, and also trust. You have to trust that it's going to actually read, because it feels like you're not doing anything. It feels like you're doing nothing. And you have to trust that it's reading. Can I tell you a little show business story?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, Jack Lemmon, who was always one of my favorite, wonderful actors. I love Jack Lemmon. He's passed away, hasn't he? May rest in peace. So he did a lot of music. He did a lot of Broadway and theater, and he got his first big movie, and he shot it in England. And the director said to him on the first day, "Jack, I love what you just did, but it's very theatrical and big. Could you just take it down a little bit for the camera?" "Oh yeah, sure, no problem." So he did another take, and the director said, "Jack, that was really good. You're so good. You're such a good actor, but could you just even take it down a little bit smaller? It's too big still." And so he says, "Yeah, okay. Did it one more time. Jack, take it down. Take it down a little bit more, please." And Jack goes, "Well, if I take it down any more, I won't be doing anything." Director says, "That's it. It should feel like you're not doing anything." So just kind of scratching your head there, being totally intimate. But the camera blows that up and loves it.
Yeah.
It loves it. And lots of times emotions become stronger when you're quiet and when you don't move. So if I go, "Take your stuff and get out of here now," that's a very weak person, and the anger is being dissipated with large movements and broad projection and a lot of gesture. But if I just go, "Take your stuff and get out of here now," you can see the difference. That's a powerful person. So one rule in my world is the more powerful you are, the less you have to move. As in real life, if you're the king of England, you just go like that, and everybody starts running around doing things for you. You just give a command and things get done. The whole country starts changing. But if you're a serf and you have no power, you're running around digging holes, sweating, having a heart attack. So the less power you have, the more you have to work. And the more power you have, the less you work. And the converse is true. If you show less work, it makes you look more powerful. And I think we all want to be powerful and effective looking.
Fascinating. Well,
Yeah.
Mark, you said you had a bonus one, that you want to be likable.
Right.
I suppose that's not all the time, but at least most of the time you want to be, because sometimes you're the villain and you want to be unlikable, right? But for the most part,
let me say that even villains need to be likable.
I see.
We're talking about show business here,
right?
Not real life. You're in the movies. When you go to the movies and you see the Joker, Jack Nicholson, or the other guy, I can't remember his name right now, but what is it? Joaquin Phoenix who did a Joker?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but so anyhow, even if you're playing the most horrible villain in the movie, you want people to like you. You want to be a likable villain because it's a movie. It's not real life, So, but there are ways, because you want people to want to see more of you. Oh, I want to see that guy again. He's so much fun to watch, even though he's a total jerk. Yeah. So there's a way. I always tell my students to look deep into what they're doing and find positives to play, and ideally to find the love in the scene. So I do a monologue with my students where they get divorced, and I'm trying to teach them about tremendous emotional conflict. and pain and suffering, which also looks great on camera. But I always say, you know, you're getting divorced, and yet, yeah, what do you want happiness, or you want your freedom, whatever. You might be fighting for various motivations, but find the love in the scene. And when you, even in a divorce monologue, if you can remember why you got married in the first place, the beginning of your relationship, when you were gaga in love with your wife and you'd do anything for her, and you took a vow to stay together until death do you part, forever and ever. And now it's the end of that dream. So if you can play those positives and find the love in the scene, all of a sudden the performances get bolted up, and we like you, and we want to help you, and we feel sorry for you, and the audience wants to take care of you, as opposed to pushing them away by playing negatives.
I see. Yeah. Hey, Mark, this is great. So your classes now are on Zoom. This was one of those things. Some people got demolished by the COVID virus, and you found a new way to teach, which was on Zoom. And so people don't have to move to New York anymore to take lessons for you. They can take lessons on Zoom. We'll have the information on how to contact you down in the description, as well as probably in the bottom third. It's probably been showing up as we've been going along. Mark, great to have you on the show. We'll probably have you back someday. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about. So again, Mark, great to have you on. And and this is Randy Kirk at Small Business Daily, and we'll see you tomorrow.